Hi everyone, welcome to today's video, which is about how to create a plan for your success. And I want to share with you the process that I use to break down my goals into manageable steps so I know what to do next. This can work with big goals or small goals. And it's so important if we've created a massive vision, a big, bold, adventurous life for ourselves. Because if we don't take the steps towards it, then it's just a dream. So this process that I want to explain to you is called backwards flow charting, and I learnt it from a lady called Barbara Sher, who's a speaker and coach in America and an advocate for doing work you love. And the basic premise of the process is that you start with your end game, what I call a snapshot of success. And when you have that end game and you have that in your mind's eye, you work backwards from that, deciding which step you must have taken in order to have achieved it. So you start with your picture and you say, what was the last thing I did before that picture happened? And then what was the thing before that? What was the action I took before that? And so on and so on. Until you get to the point where your now, your today meets that process, and you can work out what you need to do today. So let me give you an example. I was in my job in London, I was still in the UK, and I dreamt of being in Italy. And I asked myself what my snapshots of success looked like. And one of those snapshots was me just getting my food from a local market, chatting in Italian with the market stall holders, and cycling home with my fruit and veg, my food for the week, having visited the town. So this was a clear picture for me. I could see it, I can see it now in my mind's eye. And I asked myself, okay, well, if I was living this picture, what was the last thing, what was the last action I would have taken in order to get there? So you really work backwards. So I would have found out when the market was on, I would have got on my bike to go, I would have bought a bike, that would have been one of the actions along the way. I would have been learning Italian and achieved a level of competency in that in order to do that. And by working out the different steps and putting them in order, you can work out that flow in order to get to now. And you might say, well, Claire, that's all very well, but it's a big step being in Italy when you're living in London and you're contracted in a year-long tenancy and you're in a job. How do you make the connection between there and now? And this was a problem for me too. And when I had this dream, this idea in my mind, I was in the UK, I wasn't even in Italy. So I couldn't do the things like buying the bike and deciding when the market was. I didn't even know where I wanted to live. So I identified a major milestone that would get me towards that picture, propel me towards that. And that was, I would have had to at some point go on a plane and move to Italy. And so I started from the getting on the plane, and I asked myself, what would I need to do in order to get on a plane? What was the last action before that? So I imagined myself in the day before I'm going to get on a plane. What things would be in order? What would I put together? What actions would I have taken? So I picture myself sitting there with a suitcase and saying, okay, what would it take to get me there? What would it take to get me there tomorrow? And I couldn't do it tomorrow. I had a contract on my tenancy and I didn't want to break that. So I realised, okay, well, that would be one of the steps I would have taken, given notice on my tenancy in order to get on the plane. I would have had to resign from my job, and I would have had to prepare some kind of other job in Italy or had some income coming in. And I would have had to put my stuff somewhere. I had a lot of stuff, I couldn't have it all in one suitcase. So that was another step I would have needed to have taken. So by working backwards, I thought, okay, well, what stuff would I want to take with me to Italy? And it was at that point that I realised I found my next step for today, because I had a lot of stuff around me in my flat in London that I didn't want to take to Italy. And I had to decide what I was going to do with it. I had to decide whether I was going to give it away or help ask somebody to store it or throw it away. And I began to start thinking in this way, and I began to realise that I could take those steps now. I could actually go and get a bin liner and start chucking things away or putting a pile for the charity shop. By working backwards from your end goal, you can start identifying the actions that you need to take. Some of them may seem crazily big right now. Getting on a plane for me was a massive deal. I couldn't just do it the next day. So I started from that point and then worked backwards again from that. What would I need to do in order to get on the plane? And I am pleased to tell you that this snapshot was one that I experienced this week. I went to the market. I went into town on my bike this week. I went to the market and I was chatting away in Italian to the market stall holder, which was an amazing experience for me, because it was as my dream in action, my success had happened. So I really want to encourage and inspire you with that today. I really hope that it's given you a motivation and encouragement to get on with your own backwards flowcharts. Good luck, and I look forward to connecting with you soon.